Hi, and welcome back to the Biomechanics of the Musculoskeletal System course brought to you by BassettBiomechanics.com. I'm Dan Bassett, and in this unit we're going to be focusing on an advanced definition of joint kinematics. Most specifically, we are going to get into some of the details of how to define a joint coordinate system. Now, if you've gone through the course so far, you're probably familiar with a segment coordinate system, where each segment that we model in our biomechanical models will have its own coordinate system, where we have the axial direction, which we often label as the Z. We have an X direction, which lies in or comes out of the sagittal plane, and we'll have a Y direction, which would be the coming out of the frontal plane, so lying in the transverse and sagittal planes. Of course, this is very segment specific. We've talked about how when you're calculating a joint angle, what you're doing is using two segments and using those coordinate systems and comparing the results, comparing the position of each. So if you have these two coordinate systems, you would find the rotations in all of the directions. That is a very valid way of going about it. There's nothing wrong with it. However, if you're familiar with biomechanical literature, you are probably familiar with Groot and Sunday and their recommendations, and more recently the ISB recommendations, which are extremely important to standardize the field. Of course, if you've gone through the ISB recommendations, you'll also know that they talk about joint coordinate systems and segment coordinate systems and how the two are related, but they are not the same thing. The difference is relatively subtle, but very important to understand. So in this unit, we are going to focus on showing you how to come up with a way of defining your joints based on the ISB recommendations, while still working within Visual 3D, which is focused more on a segment coordinate system type of approach. It doesn't mean you can't do joint coordinate systems, it means that you have to go a step further, which is actually very consistent with the ISB recommendations. So we encourage you to continue on in the next chapters as we first explain what the ISB recommendations are, and then we're going to apply it to the data that we actually collected in the first unit of this course.